The next race was at Nürburgring in Germany, the track that Lauda had hoped his fellow drivers would boycott. To add to the dangers, the circuit was half wet, half dry.
Nürburgring, the major problem I had was the weather, like today, can rain. One part of Nürburgring be dry, and using slick tires, if you get on a damp part, you have zero chance to recover.
Niki decided to change the tires from wet to dry very soon, one of the first. That strategically was a very good move, but unfortunately the circuit was still wet.
And then I went out of the pit behind Carlos Pace, this I remember very well. And I said, shit, now I have to follow the guy all the way around, where I lose a lot of time. And then my memory stops.
What happened next has entered Grand Prix history.
Well, having just climbed out of Adenauer Bridge, I could see in the distance there was black smoke, which usually meant a pretty ominous sign that a car had caught fire.
Lauda was trapped in a ball of flame. It wasn't until his old adversary Arturo Mezzario arrived on the scene and undid Lauda's belt that he was freed from the wreckage. He'd been breathing fumes for nearly a minute.
We got him up, actually walked him away from where his car was and where he was. I put his head on my lap, didn't want him to lie flat. But he was conscious and talked all the way through. In fact, he asked me, he said, what's my face? Is it burned? Is it burned? I replied, no, don't worry about it, it's okay. In fact, his forehead was badly burned and one ear was badly burned. His scalp was actually charred. Rather than telling him all this, we just tried to keep him as quiet and composed as possible and wait for the medical services to arrive. That was just an illustration of what the problems were at the Nürburgring. It took a long time, as opposed to where we are now, where I think it is mandatory that you've got services within, I think it's a minute or so of any incident. This was 5-6 minutes.
While Lauda was flown to hospital, the race restarted. James Hunt was the victor, but the celebrations were dampened by the news that Lauda's condition was much worse than everyone feared. Doctors believed his lungs were beyond repair.
The biggest problem was that